Hello, and thank you for agreeing to join us for the Problematic Hip Replacement Workshop on the 14th of September, and for taking time to watch this short presentation. My name is Tricia Ellis. I'm an advisor to the James Lind Alliance and I'll be chairing the workshop. I look forward to meeting you online. So in this presentation, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the James Lind Alliance, but most importantly, to explain the purpose of the workshop, what will happen at it, and what we would like you to do to prepare for it. In particular, please do read through the pack of documents that we've sent to you by email, and also watch the second part of the video in which the clinical lead for the project, Tim Board, will explain more about the priority setting partnership and where the questions have come from. So what is the James Lind Alliance? Well, it's a UK-based initiative which was set up in 2004. The central team is currently hosted by the National Institute for Health Research. It brings together people to set priorities for research, and these are people who actually use health and care services, their carers, families and friends, and for the health and social care professionals who treat them. And why is it important to work with the groups of people we do? Well, the people who normally decide what gets researched are the researchers themselves and the pharmaceutical industry. But we know that the priorities of people who use health and care services and the people who treat and care for them can be very different from the researchers' priorities. So we aim to work with people like you to discover new and different perspectives on what really matters to people, on what research will make a difference to you or the people you look after, and what research will actually be put into practice and used on a daily basis. So if you're wondering who James Lind was, I can tell you he was a Scottish naval doctor working in the 1700s. And he realised that more sailors were being killed through illness and disease than were being killed in action. He introduced several public health measures which we think of as quite basic today, such as having plenty of fresh air, changing clothes and having a wash. But he was particularly interested in what caused scurvy, and developed a theory that perhaps citrus fruits were the answer. He proved it by doing research where he tested different treatments for scurvy to compare their effectiveness against citrus fruits. And the other treatments included things like drinking cider, vinegar, seawater, garlic paste. He compared the effects and demonstrated that oranges and lemons were the most effective treatment. And we think of this as one of the first controlled clinical trials which showed the importance of fair tests in medicine. And the James Lind Alliance pays tribute to that. So the workshop on the 14th is the final stage of a project called the Problematic Hip Replacement Priority Setting Partnership, which has been going on for about 2 years. The workshop will bring together people with the experience of problematic hip replacements, their family, friends, carers, and the health care professionals who treat them. You'll be working together to discuss 19 questions about problematic hip replacements, which have come from a survey of people who've experienced this, along with their supporters, relatives, carers, and healthcare professionals. From those 19 questions, you'll agree the top 10 questions that you as a group most want researchers to answer. After that, these will be promoted to researchers and organisations that fund research. And there's more information about the project and the questions in the second presentation. So who will be at the workshop? The active participants in the discussions will be the people with experience of a problematic hip replacement, also their family members and carers and the healthcare professionals who treat them. There will also be 4 facilitators from the James Lind Alliance and some observers who are interested in the outcome of the workshop. So what will happen at the workshop? Well, in document B that you have been sent in your pack, you'll find a detailed description of how it will all work. In short, you will log in between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, but please don't leave it until 10 o'clock, because if everybody tries to log in just at 10 o'clock, then we won't be able to make a prompt start and the day will be delayed. So I will greet you once you've logged in and we'll check that everything's working, and then you can sign off and have a cup of tea until we're ready to make a prompt start at 10 o'clock. I'll then do a quick roll call to make sure we can all hear each other and talk through some ways of working. But for the most of the day, we'll work in small groups to discuss and rank the questions. So please make sure you've completed your workshop document C and have it to hand. So when you're allocated to the small groups, there'll be between about 5 or 6 people per group, plus a facilitator. The Zoom rooms will be automatically allocated. And they'll start by the facilitator sharing the screen, and you will see the questions being moved into ranked order as you discuss them. When we do this in person, we have the questions on cards and we move them around on a table, and this is a virtual version of that. We've included some cutout questions in your pack, that's document E. So if you want to, you can prepare those by cutting them out into strips, and you can lay those out in front of you at the same time. So each of the groups will prioritise the questions, and then we'll combine all the results to create a shared priority order of the questions. There'll be 2 rounds of prioritisation, one before lunch, then another one after lunch when you'll be in a new group with different people, just to get to hear a range of different perspectives. After the 2 rounds of prioritisation at the end of the afternoon, we'll come back into the main room and I'll present the top 10 questions for research. You'll then hear about the next steps and the plans for turning these questions into research. It's a very full day, and I know that working online can be very intense, but we've scheduled in breaks and plenty of time for lunch, and we'll encourage you to take a break from your screen. But if you do need to take time out at any other point, please feel free to do so. Each group will have a facilitator from the James Lind Alliance. We are all neutral. We're not researchers or experts in the topic, but we're there to support you and to make sure everybody can participate in the discussion. So we will be careful to manage the discussion, making sure everyone has their say, but we're fair and impartial, but above all we'll keep to time and ensure that the task is completed. So whether your knowledge comes from your personal experience or your professional expertise, it's all of equal value, and we want to hear all ideas and perspectives. So we want you to contribute to the discussion, working in partnership with everyone within the group and being respectful of different opinions. We ask you to focus on what you want research to address, not how you would do the research. You don't need to know about research, and you don't need to try and answer the questions. That discussion will happen after the workshop. And please look at the questions in their current form. We won't be changing them during this workshop because they've been developed over a long process. But they're not final research questions. They're priorities and concerns, and they will be turned into research questions at a later date. We do ask you to respect confidentiality, and I'll say more about this on the day, but it is important that you feel free to share your experiences in the knowledge that it's going to stay confidential. Working in a group and reaching decisions can be challenging. It requires some pragmatism and maybe compromise. But the top 10 that we reach will be based on a collection of voices, all of whom want to improve the experiences of people with problematic hip replacements. So that final top 10 may not be the top 10 that you started the day with, but hopefully you will have several of your top 10 questions within that. But we always say that nothing is ever lost. So all the questions will be published and made available to researchers. We create a top 10 because in a world of limited funding, we have to create focus, but nothing is lost if it doesn't get into the top 10. In the information pack, you'll find phone numbers if you need technical support or simply need to have a chat or get some emotional support if something has come up in the conversation which you've found difficult. Please don't be on your own with that. Let us know. What would we like you to do to prepare for the day? Firstly, please read the participant pack, which has been emailed to you. Document B has all the information of the details of the day and the timings. The workshop document C has a list of all the questions that we'll be working with on the day, and we would like you to read through these carefully and rank them in order of your preference for research. Then have it to hand for the workshop, but you don't need to send it to us. It's simply for your reference. Have the cutout questions ready if you want to use these as a visual aid. That's document E. Now, if this is the first time that you've used Zoom, if you need help with the technology, we can help do a run through with you, so just let us know about that. Please make sure that you've submitted your needs and interests form. Everyone is required to do this to be able to take part, so that we have your permission, for example, if you would like to be involved in photographs. And let us know if you have any questions at all. If anything was unclear in this presentation or there's anything that I've not covered that you wanted to know about, please do get in touch. So finally, a thank you for agreeing to work with us on the 14th. This will be a really important event which can shape the future of problematic hip replacement research over the next years. So I look forward to meeting you and to working with you on the 14th. Bye for now.